Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? At the beginning of 2024, what is today's date? The 5th, 5 days into 2024. Y'all doing all right? Did you have a good holiday? Good, oh, look at this. Ed Homewood, $20.24. I get what you did there. 2024. I love it. I love it. Ed, you're the best. Starting off right. There's my boy John. Happy New Year, my friend. Happy New Year to you. Ryan. Yo, yo, yo. Randy. Great up here in the Pacific Northwest. Vancouver, Washington. I've been there. Been to Vancouver. Hey, from Lancaster, New York. Thanks for the Christmas Eve show. You're welcome. I thought that was kind of fun. Yeah, it would be fun. Not everybody has a whole bunch of stuff going on during Christmas. Hold on. There we go. A little too much headroom. Would love an actual, should put actual in quotes, in-depth test of the Schitzen, the most interesting piece of new hardware in years. Yeah, I mean, I kind of went over it. Like, what would you want me to do as far as testing goes? Like an in-depth test. The Syn is really cool, but it's almost like there's a new set of settings on every track or every TV show or every movie and because sometimes you have to adjust certain things. So it's cool. The same can be said about like some AV receivers though. I'm constantly having to change levels really when it comes to different pieces of music. Not music really. Movies, TV shows, things like that. Put a movie on. There you go. Yeah. It change it. It's cool, man. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool thing. If you want, I'll just sum it up this way. If you want a more immersive experience and you're not willing to invest a bunch of time in it, get the Syn. If you want like true, no kidding, home theater, then get a receiver and speakers. But you have to like want to get involved with that. You have to have the desire because you're going to be dealing with settings and things like that and an awful lot of speaker cable. I would say the Syn kind of lies between a soundbar and a actual home theater receiver. I guess though you can't really even say that because the Syn is working off a 2-channel PCM. And a lot of soundbars actually do multi-channel. So, it's fun. It's more immersive. And it's not going to flake out on you because there's no HDMI. So, anyway. There's your in-depth review. Istanbul. Wow. Özlem Obuz. What's happening? Should I upgrade a DAC or an amp first? I have a Modi Magni stack. I guess you're asking about headphones. I'd upgrade the DAC. That's what I would do personally. The Modi's really good at its price, but other people are catching up. Even the SU1, I think probably is a bit of a step up from the Modi. But if you spend some monies on the Shelly Labs G2 AKM 4499 with some Sparkos op amps upgrades, I think you're going to be able to hear a pretty big difference. You've done a few higher end speakers recently, 1 to 2K price range. Could you do a comparison with some of those and the Crichtons? I don't have the Crichtons anymore. I would love to if I did. Most of those speakers, I think, have all gone back. I still have on loan, they're not given. I still have the PMC Prodigy ones. That might be it. Oh, I still have the whatchamacallits. The Arendals. The Step Up. The Bigger Brothers. I'm sending those back though too. Anyway, I'll have to go through the boxes and find out what I have and don't have anymore. The only speaker, I don't even have those anymore. I was going to say I had the ELAC Unify reference, but I don't have those anymore. So anyway, whatever I have, I'll compare, but I do not have the Crichtons anymore. Those are gone. You should review the Sony SSCS5s. Just messing. I'd love to know if you can hear a difference between 16 gig. Oh boy, versus 14. Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, look at that. Randy Meinholt, $4.99. Thank you, Randy. Randy. Glasgow. Very nice. Just joined. Ideas for videos. Compare some vintage speakers, how they measure up to current tech. That would be fun. Yeah. So, couple of like caveats or maybe some hiccups to that. Number one, not all vintage speakers are going to measure the same. Number two, not all vintage speakers, even if they're the same model, are going to measure the same because of deterioration and other things like that. Current speakers measure all over the place too. I love the idea, but each one, there's so many variables with a video like that regardless of what outcome I came up with or whatever data I came up with, not to mention I don't do measurements anyway, but not to mention, it would just be like, it would be worthless data. Now, if we said, hey, let's, I don't know, compare vintage KLH to modern KLH, that could kind of be cool. But again, anything that's, I think, 20 years old or older, it's going to be a crapshoot how that thing performs. But I think it's a good idea. Maybe not. Maybe just kind of like. But the thing about it is like 80, what is it? ADS speakers didn't sound the same as KLH speakers, which didn't sound the same as Infinity speakers, which, you know, it was all over the map. I like it. I think the only video like idea that actually could be done out of that would be if there is a vintage version from the same company. I think that'd be cool. That would be cool. But great idea. I just don't know how I would do it. JR, $6.99 Canadian video idea. Sherwin Vega, LA 165. They are fantastic and only $265. They will send you some. Just ask better yet SL12 or XLS series. If you have a contact at Sherwin Vega, please shoot me an email, cheapaudioman@gmail.com. I would love to hear them, especially at $265. $265, I just might buy a pair. Let me write that down. Video ideas. All right. Return. Sherwin Vega. LA 165. There we go. Got it. Love it. I think I read somewhere that they're trying to kind of make a comeback. Timo, $5. Really miss speaker shootouts, including expensive and comparisons of similar cheap, expensive speakers. Yes, let's get down here. We'll do shootouts. The problem is that I reached a critical mass point in my home where I do my videos to where I couldn't have any more stuff. It was overwhelming. And the stuff that I did have was so unorganized, I couldn't find anything that I needed quickly. So there has been a pretty significant purge of equipment here. And everything that I can send back, I have sent back, with the exception of the Arendals. It was too much. And the only problem with that is when you get rid of a lot of stuff, then I don't have it anymore for reference. And so I would have to maybe bring things back in to review them. But I think the PMC versus some of the other speakers that are in the same price range would be a cool review. That would be a cool shootout. I'll have to go through and find out what I have and what I don't have, and then do a direct comparison or shootout. Can't even say shootout anymore. It's probably offending somebody. Movie Junkie John, $4.99. Traded out Emotiva AT Mini for SMSL AL200 because of DAC, remote, etc. Will it pair okay with Emotiva T0? Lame that the ATM had no real power. Auto on was buggy. Huh. I thought the A2M had fairly decent power. Yeah, you should be able to pair it easily with the T0s. I think the T0s are fairly... You shouldn't have any problem with it, though. You're going to probably have to play around with some of the EQ settings to get the right... I mean, it's got tone controls, too. So, yeah. You have to play around with it. I haven't had the T0s for a while, though. And then when I did have the T0s, I didn't have the AL200. AL200 didn't exist when I had the T0s. So I never did that comparison. But I would imagine they would. It might be a little bit spicy on the top end until you play around with some of the tone controls or the integrated EQ. Christopher Brown, $7. Greetings from Frisco. What up? Just down the road, like an hour and a half. It's funny. It's like Frisco. I might as well drive to Waco than to Frisco. It's about it'd probably take me 10 minutes longer to get to Waco than it would to get to Frisco. It's so funny. This city's so big. I would love more videos on actually connecting the parts together. All right. Cables used and how to put them in proper connect. Okay, cool. It's like basic system building from wiring standpoint. There we go. Got that. Cool. I can do that. You know what's funny is that my brother is a super smart guy. Very smart. Super gifted. He's the CEO of a company, actually. Which he just bought. Anyway, like, he is the dude. Like, he just amazes me, right? My brother. He looks at the back of a receiver and he flips out. He freaks out. It's so overwhelming for him to look at the back of a receiver or an amplifier that he just shuts down. And he's one of the smartest people I know. And it's just funny. So I know that can be, for me, it never occurred to me that was, I don't know, intimidating. I was looking at backs of amplifiers when I was 7, 8. It all made sense to me, but it doesn't always make sense to everybody. So I think that would be a cool video to do. Very cool. We are heavy super chats today. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I can't get to the other one. Obviously, super chats are going to take priority. A lot of comments today. I love it. Dan, DG, another Canadian in here. I love my Canadian brothers and sisters. I have a Marantz AVR NR1510. Okay. Can I connect an Emotiva 3-channel amp to get better music performance? AVR is a bit lackluster. I know on the 1711, there was preamp outputs for the front channels. If the 1510 has preamp outputs, you can connect your left and your right front speakers to it. So you could connect 3-channel amp, but you're only going to be using 2 channels in it. So I would suggest take a look at your 1510. I'm sure it has preamp out. You know what? Let's just figure it out. Marantz NR1510. Okay. I love that receiver line, by the way. Let's look at the back. Get bigger. Marantz's website sucks. It's hilarious. You know who's got the best pictures is Crutchfield. Crutchfield listing is not coming up though. Best Buy, Crutchfield. And that's only $600. That's a good deal because that's a good sounding receiver. if it sounds anything like the 1711. All right, here we go. Pre-outs. Yep, you got front pre-outs on there. So, going back to what I was saying before, just get a 2-channel amplifier, and then you'll connect your front and your left. Now, maybe through some type of sheer luck, by taking the load off of the receiver, your center channel is going to sound better. I don't understand why they don't have preamp outs for the center channel. The center, which incidentally, if you're not subscribed, there's no way anybody's watching this and not subscribed. Anyway, I'm putting out a video tomorrow on like 5 home theater mistakes I've made, and I talk about the center channel in detail. But yeah, just buy a 2-channel because you can't use a 3-channel. Andreas, 10 euros. Regards from Germany. Guten Tag. Thanks to you. I own way too much stuff from AHEMA and Fozzy Audio. Thanks for your vids, especially the ones you've done while not being able to be the designated driver anymore. Oh, I don't know if I follow that. Well, not being able to be, especially the ones you've done while not being able. No, dude. Here's the funny thing. All right, so you're saying I was drunk some of the videos. I wasn't. I don't drink. I haven't drank in years. It's just funny that like sometimes I sounded like I was hammered in videos. And I think a lot of those were early on, like when I did them in the morning or something. Anyway, I don't drink or use drugs, do anything. It's funny, but you are not the only person to think that I've been hammered in videos. It's kind of funny. William Gagney, $9.99. My favorite had for 30. My favorite had for 30. I don't know what that means, but thank you so much for the $9.99, William. It looks like you're enjoying yourself. And your hat out in the beautiful, look at that blue sky. Whew. Oh my goodness. All right, we're caught up. I'm just going to go through and just kind of like click on something in the middle. Here we go. Kevin Guthrie, idea. Try to find your dream system that you either owned as a kid or the one you wanted as a kid. I like that. All right. Return. Dream system as a kid. Find it. There we go. That'd be fun. Be really fun. I didn't really have a dream system as a kid because I was blissfully ignorant because I just didn't know what else was out there. The only thing that I knew of, I would go to the furniture stores or the Sears or the Montgomery Ward that would have, stereo section, and I would just look at everything. I'd go to Radio Shack, look at everything that they had. So I never really knew, and I did subscribe to Stereo Review, but that stuff was so out of touch price wise, and I wouldn't even been able to buy it because we didn't have any stereo stores probably in the entire state that carried stuff like that. So yeah, I don't even know what my dream system would be. Do you think old CD players are better or worse? Does it even matter? Well, I think if you're on if you got like a top tier system and you've got everything dialed in perfectly, you got all the right cables, you got power conditioners, you got great power cables, your speakers, them really, 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 really well. If you're using that CD player as a transport, probably not going to be able to tell the big difference unless you know your system in and out. If you're using an old CD player and you're using the DAC inside, something from, let's say, the 90s, or unless it's an Oppo DVD player or something, it's probably going to be worse than what is in now. And it's mostly due to the digital to analog conversion now. I mean, think about how like the biggest change in the last 20 years has probably been digital to analog conversions. So yeah, depends on the CD player though. But yeah, if you have an old CD player, I would use it as a transport, put it into a modern DAC. That's what I would do. Okay. We got 2 super chats. Ryan, Magsum. $5. Video idea. Review the cheapest of the cheap. The $20 LaPi 2020 AD and then mod it. Also suggest speakers and source to make a $50 system. There you go. Talk about cheap audio. Here we go. LaPi 2020 AD. Huh. It auto-corrected LaPi. LaPi 2020 AD. And then find $30 speakers. That might be that might have to be a Facebook Marketplace or something. Find $30 speakers. There we go. $50 system. I don't know what type of source you'd be able to put into that. All right. I missed. There's another super chat. Scott Woodford, $4.99. I have a Martin Logan B1 as speakers. Should I add center channel? I only listen to music. No. Unless you want to do multi-channel. Like you don't, and you have to, what's your amp and source into it? I mean, if you're on this chair is literally going, I'm throwing it away. If you have a receiver, then you could potentially use a center channel to add to the music. If you just have a 2-channel amplifier or integrated amplifier, there's no place to put a center speaker. So the question you have to ask yourself is, A, what is driving the Martin Logan B1s presently? If you are using a home theater receiver, you could get a center channel and then listen to it multi-channel. You're going to have to dial it in though. And then you're going to have to play with all the different like surround processing or DSP modes for music. Dolby Surround seems to be pretty good. The other one is all channel stereo. It seems to be pretty good too. But then you're going to have to play around with levels and things like that to get dialed in. It's fun. Like listening to multi-channel music is a lot of fun, especially if your receiver is decent sounding. But I've always had to heavily dial in levels and things like that to get it to sound cohesive. I think receivers are really good with movies and movies and TV shows, but as soon as you put music on them, like that's when you start to hear, like it's easy to listen, like if maybe some of your settings are messed up and you're watching TV show, like what's the worst going to happen? Okay, the dialogue's a little bit louder or something like that, or maybe the surrounds are a little bit off or what have you. But as soon as you put music on there and it's something that you know, like you're going to pick up on, this sounds weird for some reason. We are rolling with the super chats. What do you think of the Dayton HTA 100 stereo for my TV and LP 120 record player for a small living room? I don't know the HTA 100. I need to get another screen open so I can quickly go over there. All right, let's go. I already know what I'm going to say about the LP 120s. I don't like it. I thought it was poorly built. Dayton HTA 100. It felt like a toy, like a plastic toy to me. Compared to something like a Fluence. Okay, this is a tube amp. All right. There's a tube hybrid. So that's what this is. Let's see what type of inputs it has on the back. It's not coming up. Yeah. How much is it? By now. It is $230. I assume. What do you got? It's got a USB in here and an optical subwoofer output, Bluetooth. Yeah, chances are this is some type of Class D with a tube. It says AB. Tube amplifier used in the classic design of Class AB amplifier topology. You know the problem with these? Like this is like Monoprice used to do this stuff too. You get $230. Okay, so you have a 2 buffer, you have a Class AB amplifier, and you have a DAC in it, and VU meters, all for $230. Like something's got to give, right? Like there's a reason why it's that price. Nothing against Dayton Audio. I think they make some good things. The likelihood that that's a really good component is pretty slim. I don't know what the power ratings are. They're probably ridiculous because even when I have reviewed Dayton Audio stuff, their power ratings have always been like very ambiguous. Personally, I would steer clear of it. Personally. If like, I guess what I'm saying is you probably get a lot better sound for the same money, if not less money. I just think it's trying to be too much to too many people, right? You can't put a DAC in it with a 2-buffer Class AB amp. I just don't think it's going to sound very good. I haven't heard it though, but I have heard the LP120. The internal phono preamp on the LP120 is abysmal. The build quality is plasticky. It's got a good cartridge on it because it's an Audio-Technica, but I would steer, and I paid $250 for that thing, and that was on like an Amazon deal, right? I would steer you towards Fluence RT81 2 3 4 no, RT82 3 4 or 5, or the U-Turn stuff. Both of them built better. If you want something that's kind of similar to the 120, then probably Fluence would be better. So yeah. Yeah. All right, that's Ramon. Oh, Greg Baylor, $20.05. Wow. Bring back the Buddha. Spending my 2005 money. Please video the Schitz preamp at $49 versus hundreds more. Simple cam volume. Love my SU1 with AKM. All right, there we go. So you want some SIS. SIS is like a passive preamp compared to regular preamps. All right, I'm going to have to type this one out. SIS. SIS, come on. Stop autocorrecting compared to other preamps. And there we go. Thank you so much, man. $20. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like your SU1 a lot. And Buddha's around here somewhere. I don't know where he's at, but he's here somewhere. Yes. And the wobbly table. There you go. Collab with GRR Research. I don't think that's happening. He emailed me the other day asking me why I didn't talk about his stuff anymore. I was very honest with him. He did not email me back. I was nice too. I mean, I was honest. I wasn't accusatory. Steve Zeidman, $9.99. Yay, Steve. Very good. Very, very good. All right. Oil Smoke has the HTA 200 and loves it. There you go. Very good. All right. James S. 9.99 pounds. Cam from the UK. What's up, James? Thank you so much. What happened to Neil Blanchard Designs? I don't think anything happened to Neil Blanchard Designs. Unless you know something I don't know. I think he's rocking and rolling. I think he's actually doing more and more stuff. Look at this. Ron, quit giving me money. Ron from New Record Day. My buddy. Can you spend more time on Laserdisc and waterproof Walkmans? I've heard they are both making a comeback. You know, you say that, Ron. You're not far off. Cassettes, I think, are trying to make a comeback. Laserdiscs, that was some awesome stuff. The only problem with Laserdisc is you had to flip it halfway through the movie. Do you know that Laserdisc was actually analog? It was a laser reading an analog device. It's really cool. It's fascinating. Actually, it's so funny you mentioned that because I was actually watching a YouTube video on Laserdisc. That's how much of a nerd I am. So yeah, Laser discs are cool, man. And like, if anything bad happens, you can signal a plane to come and save you. Although I don't think a plane could probably make a safe landing in a residential area. Christian R, $4.99. Thank you so much. And Ron, thank you. Quit giving me money, Ron. Just do like 99 cents. I'll see it, and then I'll read it to you. Ron at New Record Day. Love Ron. Just joining, but maybe finding some underrated the radar brands like Monolith and some extra hardware openings. Extra hardware openings like unboxing. Love your channel. I've talked quite a bit about Monolith, Christian. I'm in touch with their PR people. So, I mean, if there's something specific, I can reach out. Monolith, the bones on Monolith stuff are almost always good. Like the foundation, the parts and pieces. It's the final execution with Monolith products that sometimes are like, meh. But I think there's a lot of value for the money with Monolith. Like they have some multi-channel amps, which incidentally I have in the garage too. I need to get rid of those. So I have a 2-channel amp with toroid and then a 5-channel amp with a toroid. They're good amps. They're fairly priced. I think it's like $400 or $500 for a 5-channel amp. It's not bad at all. But yeah, I talk about them, but you're right. I do need to find some more under the radar brands. I would love to do that. Dub C, $5. Thank you. I recently picked up the Onkyo TX8220 for $199, and I prefer it over the Sony ST-RDH190. I'd love to get your take on the Onkyo. You're not the first person to mention that, Dub C. Onkyo. TX8220. I have heard that before from other people. TX. Sorry, just getting an email. Done. All right. My goodness. All right. I think we're caught up with the super chats. Video idea. Interview your subscribers. I would enjoy that. I don't know if the other subscribers would enjoy that. Unless people have an interesting story. Listen, even when I interview like people that are like own companies or stuff like that, usually people don't want to watch that stuff. I would enjoy it though. A lot. Drowning in the smooth buttermilk sound of the Wharfdale Dentons and Arcam amp. Very nice. Very nice. Oh my goodness. $2.99. Philip. Got a bike there. How about a DIY kit live build subwoofer maybe? That would be cool. I have actually thought about doing that before. Live DIY build. I would have to work very diligently about not using profanity. Well, I did that one. That one might be tough. Because usually with DIY builds, a lot of profanity. And it usually comes down to me building the enclosure, where the majority of the profanity happens. Just got some headphones for Christmas, and I'm now looking for a dongle DAC. Any suggestions? I think depending upon what connection you have, the Audio Quest Cobalt, I think is like $199. It used to be $400. It's $199. Similar chipset to, if you look at that chipset, I can't remember which one it is. It's a Sabre chipset. There's other dongle DACs out there from all sorts of people. They all sound pretty good. There's an R2R dongle DAC from Cayenne, RU6 or RU7, I think. It's pretty good. Problem with dongle DACs is, it depends on what headphones you have. The problem with dongle DACs is they draw power from your phone, and if there's a big like bump, they don't generally have enough power to drive most headphones. Planars specifically. If they are dynamic drivers, there's a bunch out there. I mean, I had one from Fozzy Audio. It was pretty solid. I wouldn't like spend a ton of money on a dongle DAC though. Yeah. Just get, I mean, if you're traveling, I get it. Get a dongle DAC. But if you're stationary, just get a little like headphone amp DAC setup, because you're going to be able to drive so many more headphones and do it better. Hey, look at this. Matt. I always feel like I'm using profanity when I say your last name. Cockendall. $5. Thank you, Matt. Matt's got his own channel too. If you are not subscribed, you should jump on over to his channel. Great channel. Cheap upgrades that actually make a difference without dropping $500 on isolation mat. Things like Blue Tack for rattles, Sorbo thing, feet for isolation. Like it. All right. Matt, you should make that video. Cheap. What do you call it? Let's call it cheap hi-fi hacks. I'm sure I've used that title for probably 5 different videos already. Cheap hi-fi hacks that won't break the bank. Actually, that's a really good title. Cheap hi-fi hacks that won't break the bank. Yay. All right, there we go. James, stop giving me money. I appreciate you. If it's anything like your speaker cable build, it would be comedy gold. That was a fun build. I enjoyed that. That was funny. I was funnier back then. It's so funny, like, when you don't care and you don't think you're going to be successful and you just act however you want to, then all of a sudden that makes you somewhat successful. And then being successful, you get away from the stuff that made you successful. I kind of feel like that's happened with me. I need to go back to the basics, have some more fun, push some speakers off a wobbly table, stuff like that. Detailed video on Computer Works and detailed video. I love it when people detail. Come on over, Will. You can be my production assistant. Detailed video on computer workstation audio with small footprints and great sound for conference calls, YouTube, and streaming music. Has great detailed mids, warm, filled, fold bass, extended top end. Want it all. That would be cool. Most people won't watch that video, Will, unfortunately. Most people don't care about computer workstation audio. Here's that video right now. Get yourself a pair of, well, you can't get them anymore. I was going to say the B1 Plus from Emotiva and a subwoofer. I have to think on that. The, what is it? The Dolly Spectre 2s. They're good. I think actually, Cambridge Audio has a really good small speaker. That'd be great for a desktop. CX50 or CX60 or something like that. That's what I would do. That's cool, but nobody would watch that video. I think there's some, I don't know. You could look at some powered monitors that have like an AMT in them. That'd be good. What's up from Massachusetts? What's a good preamp to use when mono blocking? The Fozzy Audio ZA3. Shovelhead Steve. It depends. I mean, if you want like a real preamp, that's a tough question because most people don't make a good affordable preamp. I would just go DAC. I would go some DAC with a balanced output into balanced input of one of the ZA3s. Not one, both of the ZA3s. That's what I would do. If you really want analog into it, affordable stuff, you could look at the Schgitt preamps. What is it? I can't remember the amount. It's right behind me though. They have one for like $300. Trying to think of like good affordable preamps. I would just kind of go DAC into it. That's what I would do. Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't, off the top of my head, I don't know anything. I mean, you can build one. That Akatika makes a really good preamp. You got to build it, though. And it's a fun build. I did it. I can't think of any. Skit's probably the best bet if you want to go like analog preamp into it. Hey, Randy. The problem with this, though, Shovelhead Steve, is that you're only getting single-ended out, which doesn't really matter. But if you want to get the best, because you're going to get higher voltage from a balanced, if it's truly balanced, then I would look at a DAC. Yep. Death Owner, 88, $10. Hey, man. Hey, Randy, are you going to eventually review some Focal bookshelf speakers? Probably not. I've never talked to anybody at Focal, and I don't think they have any interest in my channel. If you are watching Focal, please, I'll review anything from Focal. Also, I would like to you to review the Sony Spatial audio speakers. You get like a set of 4 for surround sound. Oof, that sounds fun. I would love that. Sony autocorrects to don't. Why? Come on, phone. Sony Spatial audio speakers. That sounds fun. All right. Thank you very much, Death Owner 88. I think you should do some videos on even cheaper audio, such as the Edifier self-powered speakers. Listen, I had that. So I did one review. The R17. I cannot believe I remember this model number. R1700 BTS. Powered speakers and $100 turntables, built-in speakers. The ones I have does well for voices and added speaker. Cool. Yeah. I don't love the Edifier powered speakers unless you hook a subwoofer up to them. They're okay for like a desktop system. But otherwise, that is one thing that's been copied and pasted to death are these super affordable powered speakers from Edifier and Swan and stuff like that. And even like ELAC, U-Turn. I mean, there's so many like PSB. They're all like the same size, right? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at one and then, okay, there's another one. They all have the same driver size. It's I wish somebody would do something new. But yeah. $100 turntable with speakers. Maybe. I can't imagine that it's going to be a positive review, but that might be fun. Turntable with built-in speakers. There we go. All right, Jeff. All right. Philip. Another $5. Kind of why I suggest subwoofer for the build. Nice and simple. Almost IKEA. Anyone can do it with some clamps. I think that would be fun. Saga. That's it. There you go. Skit Saga. I have one. Do you know I don't think I've ever actually hooked it up. I have one here. Focal is coming with a DAC to pair with the Z. Fozzy. Focal. Fozzy is coming with a DAC to pair with the ZA3. Good. They should. I wish they... Listen, I love Fozzy Audio, but they completely struck out with the PA3. There's nothing wrong with the PA3 sonically, but like they should just come out with a regular preamp with no tubes in it that has 3 analog inputs. Or really, if they wanted to crush it, would have like balanced inputs and outputs, like 1 balanced input, 2 RCAs, and then balanced out RCA out. That's what the PA3 should have been. Not what we got. Love Fozzy. PA3 was nope. They've got to start pulling tubes out of this garbage. I mean, all the time with the tubes. like tubes. No, just give us a regular preamp that doesn't sound terrible with good volume control. That's not maybe a subwoofer out, or at least yeah. I guess you could do a subwoofer, but yeah, that would be ideal. There's too much of this tube crap. Like, nobody cares. We get it. Talk about a copy and paste deal. It's just like everybody's got these stupid preamps, DACs. Everything has a tube in it. We get it. There's a lot to choose from. Stop doing it. Fozzy, IEMA, Duke Audio. If you're out there watching, please stop it. Hey, what about doing a Super Tweeter? Oh, Super Tweeter shootout. Wow. How niche is that? Let's go niche on niche on niche. Super Tweeter shootout. We never really hear much about Super Tweeters. Are they worth it or not? I did a video on it. Aperion makes one. I think that would have a very narrow audience. The Super Tweeters were fun, but it would be a fun video. It would be fun to figure it out, but I don't know if anybody would watch that. I don't even know if two Super Tweeters I don't think we could do a Super Tweeter duel, let alone a Super Tweeter shootout, but it would be fun. Ray Juarez, $5. Hey, set up for Jim. I have speakers and an amplifier. Just need a source. What are some recommendations under $150? Want to stream from my phone? The Weem Mini. This thing. I talk about it so much, I legitimately leave it on my desk. And actually, if your budget is $150, you can get the Weem Pro. And you can control all from your phone. Bluetooth, which I wouldn't use. AirPlay. I think the Pro has Chromecast, maybe. But you don't need any of it because you have a fully functioning streaming platform called the Weem platform. Everything that you could potentially want to stream. So, yeah. Weem Mini, Weem Pro. Weem Pro Plus has even a better DAC. So, there you go. And with the Weem Pro, you can add other things to it, too. There you go. Travis Ernawine, $5 Canadian. Thank you so much. Can updated their dongle DAC amp this year to the RU7. Would you compare the previous RU6 to the new one? I would if I had either one, and I don't, so I can't. They were both good. Both good. The RU6 would shut in on big bass hits, though. The one, again, drawback of that is that dongle DAC amp is drawing power from the phone. So if you have more difficult to drive headphones and you get big bass hits, it just doesn't have, I don't know, I guess capacitance. I mean, that's what, that's why you have big filter caps, right? For the big bass hits and things like that. So there's just not enough horsepower to drive headphones to their fullest potential. I think even hooking up the RU6, and I'm not picking on the RU6 or 7. They're both great for what they are. I'm just talking like from a physics standpoint. Like, if you need something that has its own power supply, and then also something that has a little bit of capacitance in it, I guess, to hit those big bass hits. If you're not listening to super dynamic music, I'm sure it's good. But they were both good. But the problem with dongle DACs is power. Power. There you go. Vote for the Weem. You guys are being, and gals, you people are being so generous today. Jake, $5 vid idea. I would love to hear you take on the LSA Warp 1 fancier TPA 3255 based amp. I think you would have some good insight. Thanks, Randy. LSA? I've heard that. LSA. Warp 1. I want to look at that. You got me curious. LSA Warp 1. Look at that, Warp 1. Oh, the Absolute Sound. Oh my. You know, if Absolute Sound reviewed it, it's going to be $1,500. What? Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious that someone is putting a 3255, wrapping it up in something fancy and charging $1,500 for it. That would be an incredible video. I would think it would be hilarious if something like the ZA3 sounded as good as the LSA. I wonder if the LSA has an internal power supply though. I bet it does. Yes, it does. Okay. An argument could that not really. It's $1,500. Okay. So let's say the power supply cost them $400. Okay. So really it could be a $500 amp. Which incidentally, if anybody's out there, do what they did. LSA Warp 1. They're smart. Strap a 200 watt linear power supply onto a TPA 3255 and charge a whole bunch of money. What's funny is like that's what Monolith should do. Speaking of Monolith, because Monolith has those linear or the linear power supply, multi-channel amplifiers. They could take that linear power supply, put a 3255 on it, and then charge $500 for it, and it'd still be a third of the price. Wow, that would be a great video. I don't know how I'd get a hold of one, but that would be a cool video. It would be awesome. My goodness, David, B2431, $2. Thank you. What about a video on why you need a preamp? I still really don't know why. I have a Marantz SR715. You don't, because you already have a preamp. You have an integrated amp or receiver. So if you have an integrated amp, you already have a preamp. That's the thing that's handling the input and output. Okay. The only reason you'd really need a preamp is if you were running something like, I don't know, like the Fozzy Audio ZA3, or running one of those amplifiers that doesn't really have any analog inputs. And then, that's really what a preamp is. It manages volume and it manages inputs. Some preamps have a DAC in them. Some preamps have a phono stage in them. But no, with the Marantz, you already have a preamp, so you don't need one. Why you need a preamp? Yeah. If you have an integrated amp or a receiver, you don't need one because you already have one. Greg Bartosik, £5. Topping DX3 Pro Plus or SMSL DL200 to pair with Fozzy ZA3 and Hi-Fi Mint Edition XS. DL200. Easy answer. DX3 Pro Plus was fine. DL200, cooler looking. I like, great DAC in it too. Yeah. There you go. Very decisive on my part. Razer, €2. Thank you. Buy a decent DIY speaker and check if it's worth it. Okay. Got another vote for DIY. I haven't done a DIY video for a while. That would be fun. DIY kits. Love it. How would you rate the ELAC debut B6.2s on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm the wrong person to ask because I didn't like that speaker. I don't know. I mean, I just didn't like that speaker. It didn't resonate with me. I didn't think it had any bottom end. That generation of ELACs just needed a ton of time to break in. And I don't know if I ever allowed mine to break in, but I owned that speaker 3 times. That's how, that speaker gaslit me. That speaker was like audiophile personified. Because everybody said it was good. I listened to it and I'm like, this is not good. Or I don't like it. And then I sold it or returned it because at the time I was buying everything. And then everybody was talking about how great it was. So I bought it again. I listened to it again. I'm like, I mean, at the time, I didn't want to piss off ELAC and Andrew Jones. So I think when I did the video, it was like I really only talked about the positives of that speaker and really kind of danced around the negatives. But here's that speaker video in a nutshell. It has no bass. It's got really good forward to aft imaging. That's it. The mid-range seemed too forward. Top end seemed a little bit harsh. But when I have the ELAC Unify 2.0s right here, and that had a similar sound until it broke in. And when it finally broke in, the bass came in and the top extended. It didn't sound like a TV speaker anymore. So rating the ELAC B6.2s on a scale of 1 to 10 with my personal experience, I would rate it at a 4. I know, harsh, right? I don't know if I allowed them to break in though. So there you go. Tube rolling on a Fozzy P1. Oh, no. I'm so over tubes. Listen, if you want to do tubes, I am not the guy that's ever going to do a tube rolling video. I've decided. If you're into tubes, God love you. God bless you. Have fun. I think it could be fun. It's just, I've never heard anything with tubes in it that I've just been like, oh, this is great. I don't get it. I don't get them. That's another thing that's gaslit me. It's tubes. They're so mean. They keep telling me that they're good, and then I listen to them and they're not good. The only piece of tube equipment I liked was the Schgitt Lear or Tier. I get them mixed up. It's the one that has the big light bulb sized tube. I thought it was cool on headphones. That was it. Every other thing that has tubes in it, I could kind of take or leave, whatever you want to call it. Steven, I love you. But that video is not in our future. Here we go. SMSL DL200, some popping sound issues. Needs firmware update. There you go. Maybe you just have a bad unit. I'm not defending SMSL here. I'm just talking about, I've had plenty of things that have had popping issues. And the topping LA90 had some popping and issues. Any idea on a release date for the Weem Ultra? No. I didn't even know. I hear a lot of stuff from you all because either I don't read my emails or I'm not researching it enough because I'm making videos or what have you. But a lot of times I hear stuff for the first time from you all. So I had heard rumors about the Weem Ultra. I had no idea that it was actually a thing. I had no idea that people were talking about it. I could probably find out a release date because I have a good relationship with Weem. Cost-effective turntable upgrades. I love turntables, but when I make turntable videos, they don't get watched very much compared to my other videos. Cheap turntable upgrades. Upgrades. All right. I like it. Any cheap stuff not made in China? Yeah, Schgitt. It's made in the U.S. Gishelli Labs, made in the U.S. I think Adam Audio. Not Adam Audio. There's another headphone amp company. I don't think they're made in China. Yeah. You got to keep in mind, though, PR, that Kef's made in China, Wharfdale's made in China. Like, you have to look at the back of your receivers. Most receivers are probably made in China, maybe Taiwan. These ELAC Unifies made in China. So, yeah. JDS Labs. That's what I was thinking. I think they're made. I don't think they're made in China. So, yeah, JDS Labs. So, yeah. There's some out there. For sure. Yeah. Except that they're funding weapons again. All right. You can pop around and have a listen to my hi-fi if you like. I'd love to. Emotiva streamer coming early 2024. Any thoughts you can share? No. I talk to them a lot though. But loud. No. I don't have any thoughts on it. Hey, Randy, do you have any advice for new creators who specialize in review content? Big fan of your channel. Upper 90 football. Yeah, I do. I have a ton of advice. Or, I mean, I have a ton of like, this is what I did. Okay, let's do this. Some people may disagree. This has been my experience. Put out a lot of content. Outwork anybody else. Be willing to make personal sacrifices to make your channel successful, which means time. So sacrifice your time because you have to put in a lot of time and a lot of effort to get some type of like ROI, return on your investment. And it depends on how bad you want it. I wanted it pretty badly. I was working 14, 16-hour days the first year of the channel. So I was working my regular job. I had a house full of kids, family, and I was making videos either early in the morning or late at night. And then I looked at what other successful channels did. Like I looked at Steve Gutenberg. I looked at Zeos at the time. Still successful. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound like that. They put out a lot of content. And so I decided, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to put out a lot of content. Then I also researched out I thought about what I wanted to see in a video that I didn't see from other channels. So I wanted to know what the best speakers under $100 were, the best speakers under $200, $300, $400, $500. So I made videos like that. And then be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. What is it? Comparison is the thief of joy. So you got to do some research depending upon what your niche is, just to understand kind of what the vernacular is. But after that, after you've gotten enough info, stop watching and do your thing. And even if you maybe rehash some things, like you are you and you're uniquely you, so you have something unique to offer, even if somebody says, oh, that's already been done before, or this is a saturated, niche or whatever. No, it's not, because they're not you. So be you, work harder than anybody else, and you'll be successful. That's it. There's no secret to it. That's it. That's the secret to success. Work harder than other people, put out a lot of content, be yourself. There you go. Any more collabs coming up? I don't know. I don't have any right now. You're welcome, my friend. Good luck to you. If you ever want to talk to me, I will talk to anybody that's trying to start a channel and give them all the advice they want if they're going to work for it. So shoot me an email and I'll talk to you. Any thoughts on the Shanling ET3 CD transport? No. I think I saw my good friend. I probably should just say friend. I like him a lot. John Darko. I think I saw something from him. I've gotten to know him better over the last fourth quarter, 2023. He's a really nice guy. Very good guy. Really like him. How to get the best out of low volume listening? It's called a subwoofer or loudness button. That's how you get the best out of low volume listening. Is you crank up the bass and the treble a little bit, or you hit the loudness button. And that code was cracked long ago. So yeah. That's good though. I mean, I don't know if I can make a whole video out of it, but that's why loudness buttons were invented, or loudness controls were invented. Low volume listening tips. Yeah, like that. Promote noobs shop for used AVRs instead of new stereo integrateds. Cheap and easy and no big lift to upgrade later. I don't know that. I don't know what that means. Do interviews with representatives of speaker amp, etc. manufacturer. I've tried that. People generally don't watch those. I've done some tours. Those are kind of cool. Some people watch that. Ed, good to see you. Love you, brother. Randy, I'd like to mail you a set of my favorite compact speakers and hear your opinion on them. German built. Basically, my family was German built. Basically impossible to get in the U.S. Widening your audience all across the EU. That would be cool, man. I would love that. Love to see some less conventional setups. Trinaural, Hafler, near-field monitors, multi-way actives, signal routing. Let's get out of the box. I think it'd be fun, but I had a hard time reading those words, let alone speaking them or understanding what any of that means. So yeah, I would, Jordan, you look like a smart guy. If you would make the video for me, I will post it on my channel and share the revenue with you 50-50. What videos from 2023 had the most views? I'd have to look back. Strangely enough, and I still don't understand why this is the thing. There's a live stream I made about the best deals on Amazon Prime Day. Best audio deals on Amazon Prime Day. That video absolutely crushed it. And it was from like 2 years ago. And it just keeps getting watched. I have no idea why that specific video continues to get promoted by the YouTube algorithm when it is like there's no value in that video. People keep watching it. That's the funny thing about YouTube, is like you never know what's gonna hit, what's gonna go wide. That video hit and went wide. There you go. The preamp and the LP is absolute junk. Couldn't agree more with you. Absolute terrible phono preamp. I was really disappointed. I was really excited. I had high expectations of this Audio-Technica LP120. I'd heard other people that I trusted, who I respected, spoke highly of it. And I got it out of the box, and it was just junk compared to like a Fluence or a U-Turn or Project. Not impressed with it. Oh, good gravy. $5. Picked up the Weem amp. I picked up a Weem amp. Hoping to find a pair of bookshelf speakers. Oh, laugh. Yep. Loud enough. Family room and in the kitchen. Couple of recs between 500 and 1K. Thanks. Absolutely. Easy recommendation is the Q Acoustics 5020. Spectacular. Lovely. Wonderful speaker. It's about $800. But with $500 to $1,000 price range, you've got a lot to choose from. A ton to choose from. That's the one that I've been listening to the most lately in that price range. But there's, the Polk R200 in there. ELAC Unify 2.0, they're in there. Might be a little power hungry for the Weem amp. Oh my goodness. Oh, you have the SVS Primes. They're great. I always have to look back. Oh, the Wharfdale Denton 80th edition. Wharfdale Denton 85th edition. Although I haven't personally listened to the 85th edition. 80th edition, they're great. They're beautiful too. Beautiful. Yeah. Oh, try the Sony SSCS as a center channel wired in series. It's pretty dang good. I don't like to admit this, but I tried that with some RSL speakers. I wired them in series. Don't wire them in parallel, and don't do this at home. So, like, if you're going to do this, do it as I'm talking to you, the viewers, do it at your own peril, because you can blow up an amp, you can blow up a speaker, and you can throw sparks. So if you're going to do this, do it on your own. I'm not even going to tell you how to do it. You figure out how to do it. But yeah, that's an old trick that old school people used to do. Is they would stack speakers on top of each other, do all sorts of stuff. But I bet it is. Absolutely. I bet it sounds amazing. How about a step-by-step crossover build? I've done it. I think I built the Crichton, maybe. It was one of the CSS videos. I've done it. Let me go back. Do it. All right. We're 1 hour, 11 minutes in. Last one, and then I need to go. Neil, thank you so much. More active desktop speakers and subwoofer reviews. Home theater, Atmos, in-wall reviews. Actually, I'm doing a home theater review, or not a home theater video tomorrow. Kind of a review. Speaker revisits with all your new experience. Great ideas. All great ideas. There we go. Revisiting older speakers that I've reviewed and still have in the house. That one, there we go. Home theater reviews. There you go. Cool. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all had a great holiday, a great December. I hope you guys, people, are having great. When I say guys, I don't mean like, anyway, you know what I mean. I hope you're having an awesome January. Like, I hope that you're taking some time, recentering yourself, being kind to yourself, getting ready to attack this year with great verve and excitement. Y'all be good. And new video coming out tomorrow. And yeah, Stephen Harris, thank you. Thank you so much. 2 pounds. What do they call it? Quid? 2 quid? Is that right? I think that's right. 2 quid. Anyway, y'all are great. Be good. Bye. 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 Have a good weekend too. I guess it is Friday. Bye. 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 Bye.